Hi guys, it's Kenny with Flytime RC, and we're going to do a quick video on my forward swept vtail FPV plane. As you can see, this is forward swept. So we're just going to go over a few specs and just talk about it a little bit. This is not a plane I would usually build. It's just meant to be kind of a gnarly looking plane and fly kind of fast and be a little aerobatic. This is not how I would usually build a plane, at least the vtail. The vtail is not my usual thing. So we'll talk about the vtail first. Firstly, the vtail is 120 degrees instead of 90. I always do a 90-inch vtail because it's like right in between vertical and horizontal stabilizer, and it just gives you kind of the best of both worlds. It gives you decent yaw control and decent elevator. With 120 degrees, you have a good bit less yaw control, yaw stabilization. That's why I added this small vertical stabilizer. It does help a decent amount. I probably could have built this plane without it, but again, I just wanted this thing to look kind of crazy, and that's like half the reason I put the vertical stabilizer in, on top of having a small amount more yaw control. Not that I have a rudder on here, but it does help a little bit. So 120 degrees. Now you can definitely build a standard vtail at 120. I have done it before. It works fine. But you have a little bit better yaw control if you do a 90-degree vtail. So, and then also this vtail is bigger than what I would usually do on a plane this size. One reason I made it a little wider, so this is from the root to the tip is 6.5 inches wide, and then up here is 4.5, and down here is 6. Usually it would be a good bit smaller. Usually on a plane this big, I would only have maybe like a 5-inch, 4.5-inch long vtail here, and it would be 90 degrees. But part of the reason I did that is because I wanted to have more surface area, because the wing is so much closer to the tail, and so you just need a little bit more to have control. If this wing was farther forward, I could have gone with a smaller vtail, and I might have been able to do a smaller vtail now, but I just like to kind of err on the side of caution and just have a little bit more surface area to control the plane. So let's see, the taper of the wing is about 1.5 inches from the tip here in. It's about 1.5 inches. So it has a decent amount of forward sweep. The wingspan overall is 38 inches. So I had to use two sheets of foam board to make this, and you can see it's split down the middle here. Two individual pieces of foam board. Also, I have a piece of carbon fiber glued to the bottom here, and that's just to stiffen up the fuselage. You can see it's really long. It's like 15 inches long. So I didn't want it to break. Also, I have the battery here, so there's a lot of weight here. And even though the foam is double layered, I just like to have a little extra insurance in case I come in a little fast or something. I want to make sure that this doesn't just snap right off. To that carbon fiber helps a ton. So more about the wing. So I believe we have a 9-inch root cord here and a 6-inch tip. So we have a decent forward sweep in the back. It's swept quite a lot, and then forward sweep of the front leading edge. And it seems to do really good. I've only got to fly it twice, so I need to get out and test it more, but so far it does really good. The servos are little 5-gram servos on basically every plane I build that's like under 40 inches. I use these same 5-gram servos. I use some from Flight Test, and these are off Amazon. 5-gram servos are more than enough. They have enough throw, and they have enough power to control a plane this size. No problem at all. What else? So the electronics in here, I may or may not change. So this is the first time I've ever put a fan in the front of the plane to cool the transmitter for the DJI O3 Air unit. The main reason I did that is because I wanted to keep like the nose clean. Basically, I didn't want an O3 air unit sticking up. I wanted it to be a little bit more aerodynamic. So I put it inside, and the reason behind the fan is these O3 air units overheat in like 30 seconds. You have to basically get them up in the air really fast and get some air going to them, or they overheat. So that's why I put the fan in there, and this fan does amazing. It gives me time to have the plane on, connect the goggles, make sure the plane is connected properly, and everything is good. I could do a control surface test, make sure everything's good before the O3 air unit gets too warm, and especially now that it's warmer outside too. I may disconnect this. I don't know. It does use a good amount of battery. My flight time on this plane's only about 5 minutes, 4.5 on the safer side, 5 minutes probably max, which isn't super great. It's not bad either, but it's a 2200 milliamp 4 cell, so it's not really great. And I know that this fan does suck a lot of power. So that's why I did that. We have the O3 air unit camera here at the very front. Tiny little stubby antenna sticking out. This will have more than enough range. I'm using a Spectrum receiver in here. You can see here on the side there. I don't really trust Spectrum to fly very far, like a quarter mile maybe. I don't know if I've ever pushed them past a half a mile, possibly. But I've had brownouts before with my Spectrum system with this same receiver and others at less distance, so I don't really trust it that far. So the O3 air unit and this little stubby antenna are way more than enough. They'll go for a couple miles. Anyway, so we'll talk more about the fuselage. So the fuselage itself is 29 inches, which is about the standard length of a piece of foam board. Let's see, double check here. Okay, yeah, so it's about 2 1/8 tall, and 2 inches wide. So I wanted it to be wide enough. And a lot of my fuselages and my planes this size are the same size. But I basically wanted enough room to have double layer on the bottom and double layer on the sides, and fit the battery. So the battery's kind of a tight fit, and that's the way I like it. Once I got the CG figured out on this plane, I got everything kind of dialed in. I put some foam in the front. This is just a little cross brace here in the back just to make it a little stronger. But I don't want my battery to move. I have no reason to change the CG. I usually get the CG right the first time. When I build these, I usually put all the electronics in the plane, in the whole fuselage, and then I find the balance point of the fuselage and line it up with the CG of the wing itself, and usually air a little bit on the forward, a little bit of weight on the forward, just to make sure the CG is good. You can be a little nose heavy, and it does fine, but you definitely don't want to be tail heavy. I always set my wings between 25 and 30%, basically of the leading edge. Of course, the forward swept wing is a little different, but I always err on the side of caution. I always give it just a little bit of nose weight. It's better than being tail heavy. So that's how I do this, and that's how I know that I can basically lock the battery in where it is, and I don't need to move it. And it's good. I did give myself a little bit of room for adjustment for fine tuning. But once I flew it and figured out exactly if I needed to move it just a tiny bit forward, a tiny bit back, once I got that and it flew the way I wanted to, I glued these little pieces of foam in just to make sure the battery doesn't move. So yeah, I'm not sure what else about this plane. It's pretty simple. 38-inch wingspan. We got the carbon fiber rod on the bottom here. This was just an extra piece of carbon fiber that I had, and I just glued it on the bottom just to stiffen up the fuselage, because you can see it's really long and skinny, and I just don't want it to snap in half, especially with the battery up front. There's a good amount of weight right here. Even though it is double layered, it's pretty strong. I'd like to have a little insurance. Let's see. I think that's mainly it. Oh, we'll talk about the motor really quick. Just for this, you don't need this much motor for this plane. I think it would fly on a smaller motor, but this is the badass 2350 kV motor. It's a 2310 size motor. I've had this motor the longest. I've had this motor for 2.5 years. It's been in probably, I don't know, 20 planes or more. I can't really remember. It's been in a lot of planes. It's had a lot of crashes. You can see the nose is all messed up here. It's actually pretty scratched up. This motor has taken many planes to 100 plus miles an hour, and it's crashed at a similar speed, and it's done amazing. Badass motors are awesome. I have a 5x4x3 prop. So this is not a very fast prop, but because we're on 4-cell, this 2350 kV motor goes pretty fast. I'm not sure how fast this plane goes, but I'm certain it's 80 plus, just based on my experience and other planes that have built of similar size and a similar prop. It should be going around 80 plus, 80 to 90 miles an hour full throttle. And it does really good, and it's noisy and sounds cool. It's kind of the whole point of this. So I have, we can't really see it. No, you're not gonna be able to see it on camera. So I have a piece of plywood. It's 4 inches by, I believe, 12. So it goes from about here to here, and it's 4 inches wide. And it's a piece of plywood that goes across the center of the wing. And I put that in there to stiffen up the fuselage, or not the fuselage, but the wing, especially at the root where it's going to bend the most, because this wing is just foam board, nothing else. I just have one piece, 1/2 inch wide, by the thickness of the foam spar that goes all the way through, and that's it. So I put the plywood in there to stiffen up the wing, and it does do pretty good. It doesn't really bend. But I want to take it out and do another test, hopefully today, and find out how it flies in smooth weather with no wind or very little wind. The very first day that I took it out was super windy out, and it did fine, but I could tell it was shaky, and I wasn't certain whether it was the wind or if it was wing flex, if the wing was flexing a little bit in the wind with the speed. So I need to find that out. I need to do a couple more tests. If it is a little shaky, and I can determine if it's the wing, if the wing's flexing and that's what's causing it, I'm going to get some carbon fiber rod to run through all the way down to the root of the wing, and I'll probably use a similar size to this, it just to stiffen up the wing. I was going to do that initially, but there's no way to, at least I don't have anything on hand to connect the wings at the right angle in the center. So even though the wing itself will be stiff in the center, it'll still flex, and that doesn't really do any good. The plywood does help a lot. It adds a lot of strength through the center. So if I were to add carbon fiber now, it would actually do something because the center is pretty stiff. So we'll figure that out here pretty soon. But otherwise, this plane flies really good. This is a badass plane. If you want to build something like it, it's not too hard. Again, the fuselage is 29 inches long, 2 1/8 tall, 2 inches wide. The wing root is 9 inches. The wing tip is 6 inches. We have about a 3-inch rake, 2.5 to 3 inches. I can't remember offhand. Rake on the back of the wing, and then the forward sweep is about 1.5 inches from the tip to the root. It's about 1.5 inches forward sweep. vtail is about 120 degrees, so it's a good bit flatter. You could definitely make one 90 degrees if you wanted. We have a short vertical stabilizer. vtail tip is 4.5 inches. The root is 6 inches. You can see I've angled the elevators to kind of make room for the prop. I could have built this out and made this longer, or I could have moved this forward, but I didn't. So this is just the way it turned out, and it works awesome. So if you guys want to build something similar, you definitely can. This is a super long, drawn out video. I'm sure only 7 people will watch it, but if you guys are interested in this plane and want to know more about it, here's the video for you. And let's see, really quick. I can't remember. I talked briefly about, I got an O3 air unit in here with a fan to keep it cool while it's not flying. That's the first time I've done this. Usually I have the O3 air unit on the outside, and it stays cool long enough for me to get the plane up. Then I have O3 air unit armor here. This connects to the O3 air unit when I connect the battery. I have the Spectrum receiver with safe, and I do use safe in this plane. It helps a lot with launch, with hand launching. It just makes it easy. Because I hand launch it myself, and then I'll take over controls, so it just makes it easy for me to hand launch it. And then after that, I'll turn safe off so I can do flips and spins and all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. It's super freaking long. I was probably talking way too much, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the deep dive at this cool vtail that I built.